Hi, for this task today, you're going to need a self-healing beading mat, a yardstick, trigger clamps, and a rotary cutter. I usually start off with my box of templates and see what sizes I need. Today, I notice I'm low on the 4x4s and the 4x2.5s. I line up my yardstick to match the 4-inch line. I then grab my trigger clamps and put them on either side of the self-healing cutting mat. I use Pellon 71F for most of my beading projects. The 71F is stiff and fusible on one side. By fusible, I mean there is glue on one side of the Pelon. You really can just do this with scissors and a ruler, but since I bead so much, I usually do it in bulk. For me, this cuts down on the time spent planning out my beading projects, mainly because I don't have to do this every time I bead. I can just pull one out when it's ready. This piece was a little bit longer, so instead of doing 4x4, I'm actually just going to stick with a 4x5. And I'll work on this later. Now that the Pelon is cut, we're going to cut the graph paper to the right size. It's hard to see the lines, but this is in fact the size of graph paper. I'm trying to get better at not showing the graph paper lines. And how I get around that is to scan the graph paper on my printer, and when I copy the image, I end up printing the graph paper at a lighter contrast. I measure my Pelon to the graph paper, and lucky for me, I'm able to do 4 4x4s and 2 4x2.5s. Now that we have the graph paper and the Pelon ready to go, I'm going to fuse the Pelon to the graph paper. You can use an iron for this, but I just used an old straightener. I put the two pieces together between parchment paper. I found that using parchment paper is a lot easier to use than anything else because the parchment paper is meant so stuff doesn't stick to it. One good thing to keep in mind is to use the lowest setting on whatever you're using, whether that's an iron or a hair straightener. If you use higher heat, you have a higher chance of your Pelon warping. Now that we're done with that and these have cooled down, you are safe to put it in a little Ziploc bag. I hope this helps you cut down on your prep time and allows you more time for beading. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share to your family and friends. Thanks for watching!